This is a paper by myself and my co-author, Adebola. It's on the application of AHP to investigate critical factors for millennials' online retailing, repurchase, and switching behavior in Lagos Metropolis. Both of us are going to be presenting. I'll take you through the introduction to the literature review, and Adebola will take you from methodology to the conclusion. So I will start now. All right. You find out that as marketers, the main concern we have is about our customers being loyal to us, because if they are loyal to your organization, it means they will keep on coming back to you over and over again to purchase your product. But for customers to be loyal, it means you are able to give them something that your competitors are not able to do it. And this means you must be able to give them something better than your competitors to create a positive experience. And in order to do this in the natural environment is easier than when you are dealing with customers in the virtual environment, because there are more things that they expect from you. And because of this, it's important for you to know those factors that consumers value in making online purchases so that they will keep on coming back to you over and over again. Now, one thing about purchase is that for you to be profitable as an organization, you don't need a single purchase. You need your customers to keep on coming back to you, which means they have to repeat the purchase so that you can have turnover. And for this to happen, they must have a positive post-purchase experience. And for them to do this in the normal environment, extrinsic variables can easily help you predict it. But when you are in the virtual environment, it becomes more difficult for you to do. So because of this, we decided to investigate those factors that are critical to ensuring that customers come back to organization for repurchase situations, that is to repurchase products from that particular company. That means they are now loyal to that organization. And we decided to use the AHP model to analyze, prioritize, and rank the post-purchase factors used by customers or consumers in Lagos State, Nigeria, when they are evaluating their online purchase industry in the retailing sector. Now, in order for us to identify these variables that they find to be very interesting or important in making their repurchase decisions, we went through extensive literature review. We consulted many literatures as can be presented on the slide there. And from there, we found out that if we can understand the consumer purchase decision process, and we are able to identify those factors that are critical in making them make positive decision about an organization, then we can develop appropriate marketing strategies that will make them keep on coming back to the organization over and over again. And after extensive literature review, we are able to identify the following factors, which appear to be the most popular out of various factors we have found in literature. And these are information quality. You find out that for customers or consumers to patronize a retail store online, they want to ensure that they have valuable information in terms of information adequacy, that is, are the information adequate enough to enable them make decisions regarding whether to purchase or not to purchase that particular product. Timeliness of information, like if you have information and it doesn't come on time, then it's more or less useless. So they want to look at the timeliness of the information and understandability. Like if you get information and you don't understand it, there's no way you are able to make decisions based on such information. So the information must be adequate, it must be timely, and it must be in a language that consumers find easy to understand so that they are able to make adequate decisions. Another important critical factor is service quality. You know that services have the peculiar characteristic of simultaneity, which means they are consumed as they are produced. So by virtue of this, you have to ensure that your service quality is better than competitors, because if the consumer has a negative experience after consuming your service online, he will not want to come back to you again. So we need to look at empathy. We need to look at reliability as well as responsiveness of services. Another important critical factor that affects consumer repurchase behavior is system quality, because you are operating in a virtual environment. You need to have adequate technology. For instance, when I was trying to present this paper. Suddenly, I lost connectivity. But because I had alternative sources of internet supply, I was able to switch without it affecting me much. So we're talking in terms of efficiency, your system quality, navigation, ability to move from one side to another, response time, like if I ask for information about a particular product, how soon do I get response? How high is the feedback between me and the organization I'm patronizing? Personalization. Customers want to feel pampered. They want to feel that the organization you are patronizing appreciates you, recognizes you, knows your peculiarities. So the extent to which the system is personalized will give them the feeling of belongingness, as well as perceived security. I want to be sure that the online retail store I'm patronizing is secured. My information will not be stolen by hackers or used for other purposes which I did not allow them to. Another critical dimension that consumers consider has to do with the vendor dimension in terms of brand awareness. Are they aware of that particular organization, its brand? How good is the firm's reputation? The perceived price of that organization product vis-a-vis that of competing brand, the payment system they are adopting, as well as the delivery option, especially here in Nigeria. Delivery option is very important because if you don't have a good delivery system, customers make orders for product and they are not able to get it as and when due. And finally, we have the consumer dimension. And this has to do with consumer perception in terms of perceived usefulness of that particular product, perceived ease of use, perceived enjoyment, perceived reliance, trust, integrity, satisfaction, and performance expectancy. So all these are critical factors that consumers take into consideration when they want to make purchase decision. Given these factors that we've been able to identify from literature, we then formulated our objectives. Our main objective was to explore the application of AHP model to investigate factors that are critical for consumers' online retailing, repurchase, and switching behavior. Because when we talk about repurchase and switching in the sense that they can decide that if they are not satisfied with my organization, they can move to competing organization. And I don't want them to switch. So I need to find out those things that will make them stay with me, remain loyal to my organization rather than switch to other organization. And the specific objectives are to analyze factors that are critical for consumers' online retailing, repurchase, and switching behavior using the analytic hierarchy process. Prioritize factors used by online retailing consumers in evaluating online retailing industry in Lagos State, Nigeria for effective service delivery. And finally, to rank factors that are critical for consumers' online retailing, repurchase, and switching behavior for improving service delivery of online retailing service providers in Lagos State. If we are able to achieve this objective, they will remain loyal to us. So my co-author will continue with the presentation. Glorious, are you there? Glorious, are you in the room? One second, let me see.
If not, maybe you continue.
Yes, he just told me he's having network connectivity, so I'll continue then.
Okay.
All right, so I'll continue and hope he joins us. So in order to achieve this goal, our population were millennial online retailing consumers in Lagos State, and we studied a population of 380 consumers among the MBA part-time students drawn from 4 selected universities in Southwest Lagos, Nigeria. And then we designed our AHP model following the 3 hierarchical levels of, we have our objective or goal, and the second level we have the criteria, and the third level in this case we have sub-criteria. We did not get to the 4th level with alternatives. So I'm sure you can see what I'm presenting on the screen. That is our AHP hierarchical model for you. You can see the critical factors, which is the goal we want to pursue. Then the various criteria, information quality, service quality, system quality, vendor dimension, as well as the consumer dimension, and then the various sub-criteria which we identified from literature. So we did our comparison matrices. As you can see, we had 1,596 comparison matrices, and they were obtained from 266 respondents whose responses were found to be valid. Our consistency ratio was less than 10%. And then we did the data analysis. And you can see as presented on the table, we have our table 1 there. You can see that from table 1, the highest, which prioritizes information quality with 0.4147, followed by service quality dimension, system quality, and then followed by vendor dimension, and then the system qualities, and finally, our consumer dimension. And I don't want to bore you with all the other ranking. You can see it as presented on the table. Then we can also see the other decision alternative in terms of the sub-criteria also. And you can see that we have ranked them also in order of importance there as presented on the table. So this research was conducted in Lagos State. And because of that, Lagos State is just one of the many states in Nigeria, but it's a cosmopolitan state. And we believe that the population there could be representative of Nigeria, but we feel we may get something more robust if we decide to expand it to other major commercial centers as well as capitals in Nigeria. Then our research focused on millennials, the online retailing consumers, but we believe that further studies can be done on online consumer behavior that can be extended to Generation Z. These are the latest kind of generation. They are more techno-savvy, and they may have different opinion compared to millennials. Conclusions, like this study was conducted to investigate factors that are critical for consumers' online retailing, repurchase, and switching behavior in Nigeria. And the results of the AHP model show that out of the 5 criteria we are able to identify from literature, information quality was rated highest. And this indicates that online retailing consumers are more concerned about the amount of information accuracy and the form of information about goods and services offered on online retailing website service quality when they are making their purchase decisions. It also indicated that information adequacy of online retailers that provide adequate information about their services on their website will have a competitive edge over others, which means that if I am a marketer in Nigeria, I should be more concerned about the kind of information and quality of information I'm making available to my target market, because this is one of the critical or the most important critical factor they consider when they want to decide on the online retail store they want to repurchase from. Then the study has successfully applied the AHP approach in ranking the critical factors for consumers' online retailing, repurchase, and switching behavior. And it has also proved to be an effective tool of determining policy and strategy selection for the online retailing industry, because from the rankings we got, we're able to tell the various organizations in the retail industry that, look, if you want to exceed, if you want to overcome competitors, you should dedicate maybe 47.4% of your income on ensuring that your information unit is efficient and effective as possible, because information is one of the key factors that consumers take into consideration when they want to make online repurchase decisions. So thank you so much for listening. In Nigeria, to say thank you, we say Adupe. We have 3 major languages in Nigeria: Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. So I am thanking you in the 3 languages: Adupe, which is Yoruba; Nagode, which is Hausa; Daluno, which is Igbo language. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Dixon, for this excellent presentation. And Miguel?
Yes, Dupe, that was awesome. There was Bolajoko. There was a couple of things that made me really enjoy what you were talking about. I worked in the supply chain, and I was thinking about your interesting approach of looking at basically the supply chain and then trying to shape the demand of the supply chain through basically providing the best information possible so they can make the decisions. That's something that you saw as valuable, I would think, right?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. And then the other thing that came to my mind is, there's all this talk about IQ and EQ, emotional quotient. And when I was thinking about some of the scores that you had or the priorities, I was thinking that was more of an emotional kind of thing that people were reacting to. So I didn't know if you guys had thought about anything in that area.
Okay, I think we'll consider looking at that under our further studies. I'm going to note it down. Yeah.